I know a lot of people watching the news right now. This story is going quite viral. So y'all do me a favor, please hit that thumbs up and share this video. It was on my heart to talk about this when I saw it for a lot of different reasons. I want y'all to understand that this man is very young. This man has an opinion. This man has a family, a wife, and kids. This man's life was taken for no good reason at all. And it just really just shows the worst in people when something like this happens. So I do kind of want to talk about this. It's more political related than it is specifically about kids. But I wanted to talk about this and share this because it was on my heart to do so, okay? Let me give you a disclaimer and then we'll go from there.
Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, new website articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer.
And I'm getting this story from apnews.com. So thank you very much for the article. Let me tell you guys this. I'm going to get on to the media first because I watch a lot of Fox News. I see all the stuff that they post, the things that they care about, what's near and dear to their heart. Shout out to Fox News. I think they do an amazing job. I think they're the most fair news publication that's out there, in my humble opinion. Some of you guys might like some of these other stations, and I'm not here to turn you off from them. But there have been many opportunities that those other stations have gotten, many opportunities that they had to bring people with different views on, to talk, speak their mind, maybe even debate, so you can see both sides of the spectrum. I don't know how we got so far off when it comes to only wanting to hear one side. I just never thought, I'm an 80s baby, y'all, okay? I'm an early 80s baby, so shout out to y'all if y'all are older than me. I don't remember us being in such a place where you only wanted to hear one opinion, one voice. One opinion, one voice. I think that's weird, right? The things that we fought for in this country, from the Civil War to racism and slavery and laws and things, to get to a place to where we can start to make this country fair and free for everybody, right? You would think that since 2000, the year 2000, 25 years later from the year 2000, you would think we'd be at the best place we ever have been. And to be honest, it seems like we've taken about a 30-year step backwards, maybe even longer than that. The way that this man lost his life, what he lost his life over, and the son of a bitch that took his life, what did he do this for? You can never justify it. You can't explain it. It just needs to be punished. And I really hope and wish that people like this man would think about their protection a little bit more. Like, I'm not, I mean, you would think that somebody like him who's not really on a big scale, like, you know what I'm saying? He's not necessarily known worldwide. He's making some waves, right? Charlie has been making some waves, but he is not exactly the most known person. I knew him because I started watching videos. Got to give a shout out to Fresh and Fit when they were starting to go to the campuses and do debates with people, opening it up so people can come in with different thoughts, different opinions, and they can kind of give their thoughts and opinions, and people can try to talk this thing out, because there's a lot of tension in this world, in our United States, when it comes to politics, whether it be left or right. You know, whether it be Republican, Democrat, somewhere in the middle, right? There is a lot of dissenting opinions. And you would think that people like that, your Candace Owens, and shout out to Candace Owens, I like her, and it's a lot of other people out there. Got to give a shout out to Tommy Sotomayor because I've been actually on tour with him. And I'm going to tell y'all, especially at the time. And I can share this personal story and y'all can understand where I'm coming from because this is kind of where my channel started from because I actually started being on Tommy's panels first, right? And I remember the very first tour that we went on was in Dallas, and there was a real fear that if people knew in advance where we were going to be at, that somebody was going to either try to get us shut down or somebody was going to try to hurt that man, right? So thank goodness for him that he thought smart as he possibly could. Just thankful for him that he had some friends like me in relationship rehab and some other folks that were prepared in case some shit wanted to jump off, right? That's great that we were able to actually do some tour dates and they went good. But it scares me to think like all these people want to do is go out there and give people an opportunity to challenge them on their views. This is what Charlie Kirk has been doing. I love the idea. Let me say this again. I love the idea of going to a college campus where you would think that some of the young, brightest minds would want to debate you, not kill you, right? You would think they want to debate. You would think they would want to challenge you. You would think that they want to go home and do their homework. You know Charlie's coming. I'm going to do my homework. I'm going to come up with the best questions, the best scenarios, and let me challenge him intellectually. Because if we want to go back and get onto some gangster shit and just start shooting at people because we don't like what they say, we don't like what they think, we don't like where they live, we don't like the choices that they made in life, where are we at? I don't understand that. It makes me upset because you guys know early in my YouTube career, certain stories and certain people that I've spoken about, I have actually gotten death threats when it was Twitter, right? Through my email. People trying to get a hold of my phone number, trying to find where I live at and stuff like that. And just I'd like to call them empty threats because it's been all these years past and ain't nobody wanted to throw a grape in a food fight, right? I don't think I'm the baddest dude, and clearly skin is very fragile. My skin ain't gonna stop no fucking bullet, excuse my language. But at the same time, there's a lot of people out there that are all talk. But what do you do when it comes to a situation like this when people don't want to talk? When people just want to take your life and they're going to take an opportunity just because they're too damn coward to live in their own damn opinions or challenge somebody. So Utah, Charlie Kirk, who is a conservative activist, and I'm getting this from apnews.com, is a close ally of President Donald Trump, who played an influential role in rallying young Republican voters. He was shot and killed at a Utah college event in what the governor called a political assassination carried out from a rooftop. I'm going to say that again. And thank y'all for showing some love. I appreciate that. He was shot from a rooftop, and you would think after literally just watching Donald Trump not even a year ago almost get assassinated, have bullets flying in his direction from a rooftop, you would think that if you were going to be at a campus in a place like this, after just watching what he just went through, that maybe if you're going to, like I don't know what Charlie's funds look like. I'm assuming that either the college will provide the security or you could pay some security to at least watch the rooftops, to at least try to somewhat vet people who are coming in to come sit or something. That just seemed real weird. And on top of that, did y'all know there is actually some video footage that people recorded and saw somebody actually moving on top of a roof? Did y'all know that? How many of you guys actually got that update? Because I just got that before I started this live stream. This situation is too familiar for us to miss that. They saw somebody allegedly crawling on a roof, dressed in all black, and still was able to get the shot off. Is mind-boggling to me. This is a dark day for our state. It's tragic for our nation, said Utah Governor Spencer Cox. I want to be very clear. This is a political assassination. We'll get to that picture here in a minute. That's one of the people initially that they thought it might have been, but the police are coming out and saying it was not that guy. Nobody was in custody late Wednesday, though authorities were searching for a new person of interest, but they do have somebody in custody right now, just so y'all know. So if you missed that part of the news, they do have somebody in custody, a person of interest that they are interrogating or interviewing, however you want to call that. But put a pin in it and we'll come back. According to law enforcement officials familiar with the matter, who was not authorized to discuss the situation by name and spoke on a condition of anonymity. Authorities had earlier provided evolving information on the status of the search, with FBI Director Kash Patel initially saying on social media that a subject had been taken into custody, only to later say that that person has been released, but was being questioned. He was questioned and they let him go. But there's somebody else in custody right now. Okay? Authorities did not immediately identify the person who has been in custody, a motive, or any criminal charge, but there's a lot of reason behind that. So what they want to do is they want to try to get as much information as they can. If people saw something and they'll say something, they'll report it, they'll turn that information in, and they can start to corroborate all of the information that they're getting to be like, okay, here's what we have. Here's what we can prove. But the circumstances of the shooting drew renewed attention to the escalating threat of political violence in the United States that in the last several weeks has cut across ideological spectrum. The assassination drew bipartisan condemnation, but a national reckoning over a national reckoning over ways to prevent political grievances from manifesting, damn, they got all these big words in here, as deadly violence seemed elusive. Let me say this. All those news stations, everybody's posted this. To be honest, I think they're doing this also for political reasons. They're not doing this because they truly care about Charlie. They're not doing this because they're sad for him. They're doing this because they would look like total dicks if they didn't at least speak about this publicly and act like it didn't actually happen. Y'all remember the damn fool that stabbed that Ukrainian woman on the train? Or on the train, not the bus, but on the train. They ignored that. They ignored that, and they're like, we're not going to show that. But this one, they're just like, you know what? We got in so much trouble last time for not saying nothing. I think the way that we need to go is we need to say something about it, so that way we can just look better. We can have our coattails covered on this one. And I think that ought to scare y'all more than anything, the fact that the media is only going to feed you what it is that is good for them, what is good for their balance, for their views, right? To be honest with you, there's a lot of, like, I know some of y'all might think Donald Trump is crazy for calling these news media people out and these news companies out. But I don't remember a time when they've been this involved in politics. I thought their job was to get us the information, to get us what's real, to get us the news, to get us all sides of opinions, rather than they're going to stick to this small scope of what they feel like is best for their political beliefs. The videos posted to social media from Utah Valley University show Kirk speaking into a handheld microphone while sitting under a white tent emblazoned with the slogans, the American comeback and prove me wrong, which again, he's inviting a conversation, not a fight. He's inviting a conversation. You said in the chat, the man tried to kill his sister and she dropped the charges. He was released and now has stabbed a Ukrainian woman on the train. You know, I'll get in a lot of trouble if I say what I really want to say about that story. Thank you, Sapphire, for posting that. I didn't speak about that story because it didn't have anything to do with a kid. I was very saddened for that woman. Very saddened. And I actually watched that video all the way through. It broke my heart, man, to just watch her, an actual refugee claiming asylum, leaving Ukraine, coming to the United States, and she did it the right way. And somebody here, due to politics, allowed this man to be out when he should not have been out. He is a danger to society, and took that woman's life. Again, it's like we don't want to do what's right. We want to do what's political. And I think that's insane. That's where we're at. That's why this type of stuff keeps happening, because we want to make it about politics rather than make it about what's right and wrong. Prove me wrong. He wants to have a conversation. A single shot rings out, and Kirk can be seen reaching up with his right hand as a large volume of blood gushes from the left side of his neck. And I'm going to tell y'all, if y'all haven't seen the video, if you don't look it up, I don't blame you. It is extremely sad. Stunned spectators are heard gasping and screaming before people started running away. The AP, the Associated Press, was able to confirm the videos were taken at Sorensen Center courtyard on the Utah Valley University campus. So those videos were real. It was actually real footage. People was just recording. Kirk was speaking at a debate hosted by his nonprofit political organization. Immediately before the shooting, Kirk was taking questions from an audience member about a mass shooting and gun violence. They asked, and I quote, "Do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the past 10 years?" The person asked, and Kirk responded, "Too many." The questioner followed up, "Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?" Counting or not counting gang violence, Kurt asked. And that's when it happened. We're not going to show it, so I hope you guys didn't come over here to see that video. I'm not a damn fool. I'm not going to sit here and play it, right? If you want to see it that bad, take your time and go look it up. It is extremely a gruesome scene. It's a gruesome thing to look at. Then that's when the single shot rang out. The shooter, who Cox pledged would be held accountable in the state with the death penalty, wore dark clothing and fired from a rooftop on campus some distance away. They're thinking about 200 yards away, roughly. The death was announced on social media by Trump, who praised the 31-year-old Kirk, the co-founder and CEO of the youth organization Turning Point USA, as great and even legendary. Later Wednesday, he released a recorded video from the White House in which he called Kirk a martyr for truth and freedom and blamed the rhetoric of the radical left for the killing. So again, here's what I want y'all to remember. People that are leftists or on the left or have that idealism and they believe that this is not a political thing, I want y'all to think about this. What ended up happening to Donald Trump when they called him Hitler? What happened to them? What happened to him when they said about that that he's the greatest threat to the United States and our democracy? What happened to him when people were saying that we're going to end back up in chains and slavery? What happened to him when people were saying all of these bad things about a person running for president of the United States? Calling him an existential threat. I know I didn't say that word right, but whatever. That's the best I can do. They called him an existential threat. They tried to do the exact same thing and tried to shoot and kill him. So yes, I'm blaming the leftists, the media, and the rhetoric. That is exactly what this is. Utah Valley University said the campus was immediately evacuated and remained closed. Classes were canceled until further notice. Those still on campus were asked to stay in place until officers could safely escort them off campus. Armed officers walked around the neighborhood, boarding the campus, knocking on doors and asking for information on the shooter. Officers were seen looking at a photo on their phones and showing it to people to see if they recognized a person of interest. The event billed as the first stop on Kirk's American Comeback Tour had generated a popularizing campus reaction. An online petition calling for the university administrators to bar Kirk from appearing received nearly 1,000 signatures. The university issued a statement citing last week First Amendment rights and affirming its commitment to free speech, intellectual inquiry, and constructive dialogue. But we believe in the right to free speech. But y'all wanted to stop this man's free speech petitioning, and the petitioning didn't work. They said he has a right to be able to have this and speak. And then they said, you know what, we're going to take your right away by taking your life. We're going to take your voice away. Is that what freedom of speech looks like in America in 2025? I'm just curious. Maybe somebody can correct me in the chat. If you guys are listening, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up, type something in the chat and let me know. Maybe I got it wrong. Is that what free speech looks like? That if you speak freely, you could die for what you say? I just want to know what to be prepared for. So if I got to walk around with a bulletproof vest when I go places and go speak, or if I have to sit here and hire security while I'm doing my goddamn podcast and have guns on the table and ammunition and constantly be ready for a threat to maybe come kick in my door for speaking my mind about what I feel like is right, I just want to know what the effing rules are. That's it. So I'm not going to read the rest of this article. I'm going to go ahead and keep this thing moving. Let me give you guys the fair usage. I'm going to let you take a look at the news videos. We only got a couple of them. And I'm going to show you the alleged suspect, the person that they thought they caught at first. But I think he's been released. I don't think this is him.
Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
If y'all would do me a favor and please hit that thumbs up and share this video, that would greatly help me out. But let me show, I got a couple of news videos. They're relatively short, but let's take a look and see what we got.
Because we are getting new reporting in right now from the president about Charlie Kirk, as this was actually a fatal shooting coming down right now on Truth Social from the president of the United States, saying the great, even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially me, and now he is no longer with us. Melania and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife, Erica, family. Charlie, we love you. So obviously an unfortunate finality to this as the shooting transpiring at Utah Valley University. I just want to put up just some of these scenes one more time of the suspect still very much at large, that according to the university right now. But President Trump saying on social media that Charlie Kirk, the conservative commentator, is dead. An unfortunate moment here in time as we were talking about the political violence that continues to be heightened.
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Oh my God. Wait, Cody, go, run. Oh.
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
What the fuck?
That's the right to remain silent.
You guys okay? Okay, love you. Be safe. Okay, be safe. Apparently there's been a shooting. I don't know who's been shot. We are here live at Utah Valley State University. I don't know if that was shots or if that was fireworks.
That's a lot of people, Utah, I'll tell you what. All right, we're going to get started, everybody. You know how it works. Question and answer. Also, thank you to Lane from YRE5. That was great. Really appreciate it. And we're going to be here for a couple hours. Get comfortable. Bring the best libs that Utah has to offer.
We did receive video of the moment that shot rang out. We heard from our Aaron Katursky, Bob, that reports say that possibly that bullet hitting Charlie Kirk's neck, as our Aaron Katursky was describing, you could actually see blood pouring out. We did hear straight from Charlie Kirk's organization that he co-founded, Turning Point USA, that he is in the hospital, and they are all praying for him. Prayers coming from the President of the United States to those involved in his organization, those that have been on the tour with him. Aaron Katursky, anything new that you have learned as we will continue, of course, to hit the top of the hour here? We're trying to get as much information as possible about the condition of Charlie Kirk after being shot there on the university campus in Utah.
It seemed, according to eyewitness accounts and by law enforcement experts who have viewed the video, to be a very difficult injury from the single shot that struck Charlie Kirk. So everyone in the administration is sending prayers for his survival and well-being, but everyone is also braced for what could be some difficult news, Kira, because the single shot struck Charlie Kirk. Eyewitnesses said they saw a lot of blood coming from him, and then they all scattered. Now the university is urging everyone to leave campus to allow police to conduct the investigation. The suspect that was taken into custody, according to eyewitness accounts, was heard screaming, "I do it again," described as an older male wearing a blue shirt, someone who has white hair, but we've heard nothing else about the suspect, if it is indeed himself or his condition. So far, the local police have said nothing. It's only the university that's now urging everyone to clear out of campus, Kira.
I go around universities and have challenging conversations, and because that's what is so important to our country, is to find our disagreements respectfully, because when people stop talking, that's when violence happens.
I've never seen someone do this.
Well, it's a growing trend because people like me are facing violence, assault, the left. Yes, the campus Antifa. I've been stormed out of restaurants. I've been assaulted publicly, multiple death threats.
Okay, so what's your goal in all this?
There's more people that agree with me than some people would actually believe, and they come out of the woodwork when I do stuff like this. We record all of it so that we put it on the internet so people can see these ideas collide. When people stop talking, that's when you get violence.
Want y'all to hear this again. I think this is well said. He's just saying, let's have the conversation. I don't know why people all of a sudden want to end your life because you want to have a conversation and find some common ground with people. That's weird to me. So what do you do when you're married and you can't find common ground? What do? You take their life? You take the person that you're with, you take their life? You don't find common ground with your kids. What do? You beat them up? You try to end their life? Families disagree about stuff all the time, but you don't want to find no common ground. You've never run a business before. You don't want to try to find no common ground. You don't want to have the conversation.
I go around universities and have challenging conversations, and because that's what is so important to our country, is to find our disagreements respectfully, because when people stop talking, that's when violence happens.
I've never seen someone do this.
Well, it's a growing trend because people like me are facing violence, assault, the left. Yes, the campus Antifa. I've been stormed out of restaurants. I've been assaulted publicly, multiple death threats.
Okay, so what's your goal in all this?
There's more people that agree with me than some people would actually believe, and they come out of the woodwork when I do stuff like this. We record all of it so that we put on the internet so people can see these ideas collide. When people stop talking, that's when you get violence. That's when civil war happens, because you start to think the other side is so evil and they lose their humanity.
Now, this is the person that they initially stopped. I'm going to stretch this out so you can see it a little bit better. But I don't think that this is the right person. But this is one of the first people that they stopped. Because they got a description, and this is who they dragged up out of there in handcuffs. But they still do have a person in custody as a suspect, as a person of interest, I should say. But this was the first person of interest.
Asked.
How dare you! 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 You're such a monster! What a monster! Such a monster! Monster! A monster! How dare you!
Back it up! Back it up!
How dare you! How dare you! You're a freaking monster! Yeah!
I don't know. He said he shot him, but I don't know, dude.
Man, what a crazy, crazy scene. A situation is very sad. And all of this behind. Because y'all didn't want to debate him. Maybe you lost to him in the debate. Maybe you couldn't debate the things that he was saying. And I'm just like, if that's the world we're living in, then we don't have freedom of speech. We don't have freedom. We might as well be a third world country, and that's really where we're on our way to. So to Charlie Kirk, R.I.P. If y'all wonder why I speak about this story, because if nothing else, forget the politics, forget the debates. Right there, this man was a father. He was a devoted father, a devoted husband. He was a provider, a caretaker. And from what it seems to be, a good man with a level head. And I want y'all to think about this. We need more fathers in this world. We need more good men in this world. If you want good men, you have to raise good boys. If you want good girls, if you want good women, you have to raise good girls, right? This man seemed to be a person, and I want black people to take a look at this because I've already seen some folks. I'm not going to call their names out. Some of these people out there who are considered to be activists, I'm not going to even say what state. But just know I'm watching, and I saw what they posted, and what they posted was disgusting. People I've known for a long time, and watch what they posted was flat out disgusting. And I think to myself, so because you're on this side, it's okay. Now, what if that pendulum swings? Because that pendulum swing, y'all know what a pendulum is, right? When that pendulum swings from one side back to the other side, and now you're in the position of being an activist and you're out there speaking and you're speaking about what's going wrong with your side, and somebody decides to end your life for trying to advocate for a person or a situation or a business or whatever is going on, or an ideal. You're arguing over an ideal and somebody decides to come and take your life for it. Should we not care? Should we wish death on your family? That pendulum swing and that energy that you put out there will always come back for you. Energy never dies. It lives on. And I want y'all guys to think about that, and for anybody who watches us to think about that. We lost a good man. We lost a good human. We lost a good father. We lost a good husband. We lost a good example of somebody who built themselves up, tried to do it the right way, and wanted to make a difference in this world for the betterment of everybody. If he's wrong for doing that, then I'm sorry. I don't want to be right. And I'm not trying to be cliche either. Thank you guys so much for listening to this political episode with an open mind as well as an open heart. Charlie and your family, we wish you our thoughts and our prayers. Rest in peace. Thank you.